for alcoholic beverages, starting with for application for malt beverages and wine only, Catherine O'Connell of BCG Inc. for Saturday, March 6, 2010, from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. The event is the Wicked Irish Fest, to be held at Lot B, adjacent to the Sanger Center at UMass Lowell, at 300 Martin Luther King Jr. Way. Also, for malt beverages and wine only, 2 applications by Robert A. Nista for events to be held at The Space at 150 Western Avenue, Mill Building, Unit 5A, Saturday, March 6, 2010, from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., a fundraiser to help Haiti. Proceeds for the Red Cross for Haiti. Also, Friday, March 19, 2010, from 7 p.m. to 12 midnight. This would be an Irish cultural event. Also, malt beverages and wine only, Corey Belanger, for Wednesday, March 17, 2010, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight. It's a St. Patrick's Day celebration to be held in an enclosed tent in front of 34 Jackson Street. Leo Silva, for all alcoholic beverages, on behalf of events taking place at the Holy Ghost Society's Holy Ghost Park at 65 Village Street, starting with March 6, 2010, from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. It's a wedding reception. Also, Saturday, March 13th, from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m., the Radio Amizado Anniversary. Sunday, March 14th, from 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. is a fundraiser for the Madeira disaster. Saturday, March 20th, from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. is the Holy Ghost Queen's Ball. And Saturday, March 27th, from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. is the Holly Ternary Princess.
Mr. Secretary, why don't we do the public amusements and the sound where they're all involved? We'll give them, if we could, please.
Since all of the principals involved with the other events are here is presently, application for public amusement, license is a concert. This is put on by the wickedirish.com. Jeffrey Lasante is here representing the management company at the UMass Lowell Sanger Center. And that is, Wicked Irish Festival is for Saturday, March 6, 2010, from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. And that will be at the Lot B adjacent to the Sanger Center. Also, for special event permits for sound amplification, for 2 events where there will be amplification of sound in public places. The Sanger Center at UMass Lowell, Jeffrey Lasante, Director of SMG. This is for Saturday, March 6, 2010, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. The sound system for bands in Lot B at the Sanger Center, adjacent to the Sanger Center. Also, Corey Belanger of Major's Pub for St. Patrick's Day celebration, Wednesday, March 17th, from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., the sound system for band, disc jockey at an enclosed tent in front of 34 Jackson Street.
Thank you. Okay, if you just step up to the mic and introduce yourself for the record, please.
Catherine O'Connell, Boston Culinary Group.
Okay.
Jeff Lasante, Director of Finance, Sanger Center, UMass Lowell.
Okay.
Paige Schaller, Event Manager, Sanger Center, UMass Lowell.
All righty.
Robert Nista, Partner of The Space.
Okay.
Corey Belanger, Major's Pub.
All right.
Leo Silva, Director of Holy Ghost Society.
Okay. And I presume you're still an officer of the club, okay. All right, or director. I know that some of you have been before me before. A couple of quick questions. Let's see if we can make this as easy. This is going to be in the Western Avenue Studios.
It is.
Okay, have you done this before?
We have.
Inside?
We
Yeah.
have.
Okay, have people actually moved in there? I know that there was some, situation where they were trying to establish a residency, an artist loft. Have people actually moved in there yet?
No, that's still about 2 years away.
Okay.
That they haven't.
All right, so you're pretty much in the same environment?
Yep.
I'm not, trying to, okay. Let's talk a little bit about the Wicked Irish people. They're letting you out once a year, so we got to know what you're going to be up to. You're going to be in a tent?
Yes, it's going to be
Outside.
an enclosed tent outside in Lot B.
Have you notified the police department or?
Yes, we are going to have a police detail and also a fire detail because the tent is enclosed.
Okay, have you ever done this before?
We have had events out there before, yes.
You've done this Wicked Irish thing before?
I have not done the Wicked Irish, no.
No, haven't done, well, okay. So tell me what you have done before.
We've had the Lowell Devils and previously before that, Lowell Lock Monsters, Fan Fest out in Lot B.
And you've run it, you've been involved in the running of it?
Yes,
Okay, and you've served alcohol at those events?
yes. Boston Culinary Group has served alcohol at
Okay.
those events.
And have we had any problems, Captain Webb, out there?
No problems,
No?
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, good. You know, today you've got to be so careful with people. I mean, I always thought St. Patrick's Day was like the big drinking day, but it really isn't. But it's bad enough.
Yeah.
Right, Captain?
It has its moments.
It has its moments, okay.
We will
But-
have snow fencing around that lot, too.
Good.
There's no karaoke, correct?
No, not at that one.
I think last year we had the problem with the karaoke on St. Patrick's Day. That's why it was.
It was impromptu karaoke.
Impromptu, okay. Well, you're not going to sing for us, are you?
Irish Eyes a Smile.
We just want you to be, you know, ever concerned. The time doesn't bother me, 10 o'clock isn't late. You know, Corey, you've run yours before, 10 o'clock is not late. You know, what I say to you on sound amplification is, you know, Holy Ghost Park has a unique experience there. It's right in the heart of a neighborhood. You've got the garage on one side, you've got the police, I think the repair garage on the other side. But you're still in a downtown area, you know, and Corey, he's sandwiched right in the middle between two buildings. His sound just can only go one way, and that's up, because the buildings are right there. You know, 10 o'clock is not unreasonable for anybody. I don't care whether you live in downtown or you're living in a neighborhood. 10 o'clock is not unreasonable, you know, for amplified sound or anything like that. But in the same sense, if you can walk 3 blocks away and you can hear the sound like you were standing in the tent, something's wrong. Something's wrong, okay? The sound is for the entertainment of the people that you have coming. And you must be ever aware of, you know, serving alcohol. Unfortunately, we live in a, you know, society that's just looking for the excuse. So we got to be aware of people that might, especially on St. Patrick's Day, decide go out and have a few pops. Then they're going to go to another place and have a few pops. Then they're going to go to another, and then they're going to end up in oh, let's go over the Wicked Irish Festival. Most of the people are green, you know, but they're not. They only look green because we've had too much to drink, and we shouldn't be there. And you need to stop them before they even get in and say, you know, you've had enough. You don't need to come and spoil this, you know.
Just
Okay?
for clarification, the Wicked Irish Festival is on March 6th, correct? Yeah. Okay.
What?
It's not on St. Patrick's Day.
No, I know that, but it's an Irish festival.
I know.
They're not going to serve soda.
I'm sure they'll serve soda too.
Okay, well, anyways, the point being that you don't want somebody to come up and say, you know, go to a local package store and buy a 6-pack. And a lot of people do that today. It's amazing the number of people that do that. You drive around sometimes, if you think I'm kidding, drive around sometimes to some of these restaurants on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning and look and see all the beer bottles on the ground. They're not beer bottles that people took out of the store. They're beer bottles that people stopped, had a couple of beers before they went in, because they don't want to spend the money to buy it inside. Unfortunately, when you go before a judge, the judge is going to simply say, where was the last place you had a drink? Oh, we were at the Wicked Irish Festival, you know. It's makes for a tough time, okay? Do you have any questions? You know, you have to keep everything within the tent and within, Corey, within the area. And you know, Indios are going to be inside, and so is Holy Ghost. You have any questions at all or anything? No? Okay. My good friend St. Patrick here.
No, I have no questions. I guess my only thing is just to emphasize or re-emphasize that when you're breaking down the tents or the bands or whatever, just don't have any music playing, because I think that's been an issue for some people. So, other than that,
No, I wish you all good luck. I know that at least 2 of you are some brand-new businesses to Lowell, and hope everything goes well. Thanks for doing these things. Draws people in, gives people something to like when they go downtown, so wish you the best, and I'll make a motion to approve all the requested licenses.
I'll second them.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Good luck. Maybe we'll hit one of those 47, 50, 57-degree days, it'll, you know. You'll have the side of the tents up and an air conditioner blowing. Okay,
Okay, so,
next on the agenda.
just as a matter of, for the public record, City of Lowell License Commission webpage at lowellma.gov, LOWELLMA.gov, has, under its navigation, column for navigation, there's about 8 sets of forms the public may wish to review and/or print out if they have the means to print. I know Commission feels that this is something that should be made available online, and we'll be working in the next several weeks to add several other sets of forms. But I'd like to include with each and every set of forms, what are the requirements for an applicant, what they may expect in terms of completing the application and making it, it's not just a matter of signing a form with your name. There may be requirements to show that if you are looking to set up a corporation, you have to have that corporation filed online with the Secretary of State's office in Boston. And so these are some preliminary ideas that give people ideas, I should say, of what would be required, what they could expect, and what the responsibilities are, particularly with the alcohol.
On these here, are you giving, if I download these it's Monday morning and I've decided I want a one-day license, and I look up on the webpage, and they're gonna have a meeting on Thursday, so I download a form for it, and I bring it into you. Can I get it on Thursday's agenda? That quick? I think it's
Good
important
question.
people know
It's a
that.
very good question, because there is a deadline for filing an application in anticipation of being on that Thursday's meeting.
Yeah,
And that would be by 10 o'clock that morning of the day of the scheduled meeting. Ideally, the day before, the Wednesday before would be the preferred date.
who
But
sets that date? Do you or do we?
It's been the policy of the License Commission Office for years to have a element of time in which to be able to set up the agenda in a timely manner, and to put that agenda online for the sake of the public, if they are not able to come to the meeting, to pick up a copy of the agenda. I try to have that agenda online accessible by the morning of the day of that scheduled meeting. So, following up on the question is to completing the application, I need to have the application in hand so that I can put the item on the agenda. And as I just said,
Well, okay, and I leave the, you are, all of you are obviously much more knowledgeable than I as far as this is concerned, but my thought there is, and this is my thought, okay? If I can walk into your office at 9 o'clock Thursday morning and give you a form for a one-day license, I want to have an event. Some neighbors and people in the area have no idea this is going to happen. And if they wanted to come down and speak in opposition to it and say, this isn't the appropriate place, plus it's cutting your time real tight. I mean, somebody's walked in the office at 9 o'clock, and this is gonna be at 3 in the afternoon. I don't know, I'm saying, should be 10 o'clock the day before.
But a one-day license isn't open for a public hearing, is it? For people to speak in opposition or in?
no, not as a rule. I mean, the license board members, you certainly may require it. I mean, you could, in setting up such an application for public commentary, you can set up differently. These one-day license applications are traditionally, you're receiving them for venues that are not private residences.
Right.
They're
talking like
public
the
places as a
auditorium.
rule.
Right, we're getting
Yeah.
them from the auditorium, we're getting from established bars and restaurants that are having an outdoor event in their parking lot or something
Yep.
like that. We're not, it's very few that are what you'd call a surprise.
How many times does someone come on a Thursday morning and try to get on the agenda? That's not, I know sometimes the auditorium, that
Oh, I'm not saying that it shouldn't, I'm just saying, is it something, I'm asking a question, I'm not saying that we should.
Well, that's my question, is how many
Okay,
times does it
I
happen?
mean, my question is, do you have the right amount of time to be fair in processing it if somebody walks in at 9 o'clock with it?
Well,
And I think Ryan's got a very good question. How many times in the past year has somebody walked in at 9 o'clock in the morning with a request?
the usual suspects, if I may say that, are people who have had experience in dealing with the office. I think this matter of having all of these forms, or some of the forms online, is to give the public an idea of what's involved. I would hope, and this is my concern, and I think your questions kind of bring that out in terms of my concern is when somebody walks in hand at 10 o'clock Thursday morning, which is rare, but there is always the first time. Usually the person typically who's gonna file it at that time realizes that they either didn't realize when the scheduled meeting was, their event is the week later when there's not to be a scheduled meeting of the License Commission, and they want to get that application before the board that afternoon. Those kind of people I've dealt with before. We basically have an understanding. It was just at one time only that they just kind of missed the scheduling of the scheduled meetings. If somebody comes in, first-time basis, and says, gee, I'm having in front of my house, I'm gonna
Have a block party?
have a block party.
Right.
Well, I say, first things first, have you talked to certain people involving who may have a specific interest in closing off the street? You have to deal with the special events coordinator, who has to process the request through various other sources, such as the Lowell Police Department, to make sure that they can close the street. And if they do close the street, what people would be impacted on that. Certainly, you've said experiences in the past were over here on Worthen Street. The Worthen, on occasion, in the past, not recently, but in the past, has requested that Worthen Street be closed off. But that has specific impact upon
Sure.
Goodyear Tire, and so they have to be mindful of that. So anyone who would come in for the first time and say, I want to have a block party, and I'd like to get the license this afternoon, I would say, chances are you're not going to get it, because first of all, the commission requires that if it's going to be a street closing, they need to know in advance that the special events coordinator has taken care of certain issues that could allow for the street to be closed to begin with before the license commission would act on that application.
Okay.
To say, grant you the license. They're not going to grant the license and then anticipate you're going to be able to get the street closed. That's not where the commission will be on that situation. So that's just one example. But,
Okay, I just wanted to, because sometimes you have access to these things, you fill them all out, you walk in and you think, oh, this is a piece of cake, Then, and I've said this before, and I say it publicly, sometimes I think you go to the extreme trying to figure all of this out for them and help them through it, but sometimes that can also backfire, because you can't get it done, and now all of a sudden they're knocking on the manager's door, or one of the counselors, saying that, they weren't given a fair shot. Well, we want folks to know that just because you have access to this form doesn't mean, you still be better off coming down here and talking just, a live person, not a computer, a live person.
In most of these forms, I know this is new for the city of Lowell, but, you can get all of these forms on the internet already, because most of these forms are Massachusetts-generated forms, correct?
Several of them.
Yeah, there are, certainly with regard to alcohol beverages, the
Right.
Alcohol Beverages Control Commission has a website in which they have certain documents that are available online, and those documents are set up such that you could actually work with it as you see it.
Right.
And you have a
Fillable.
certain software that allows you to do that.
Right.
And then print it out as a completed application.
Right.
Cities and towns adopt various other forms that may be somewhat uniform across the state. And some cities and towns have certain unique aspects of their forms that provide more information that's more readily available to the licensing board members. So it varies, but
varies,
there's,
yeah. So there's a hodgepodge of state and city generated.
Okay, that's why I just wanted to be sure that we weren't, opening up a,
well, it's a trial and error. I hope that, I think, as you well know, that when we deal with applicants and you see the forms that are filed by these particular applicants, try to make sure that the information that's required is complete before you would take action on anything of that nature. So it may be that when they come in to see me after they've printed out the forms, thinking that they can do it themselves, and I look at it, and I say, well, you've got to add this, and you should look at this, and that kind of a back and forth. So
Sure.
it's a work in progress.
And even people that are experienced in filling out these forms usually don't get it right the first time, correct?
Well, if I was to be the judge on it all, I'd
how
say,
did we make with that being said, have we gotten a report back from the law department as far as, we had some discussion about, requiring people that have beer and wine licenses to carry some kind of, liability insurance?
I did have a chance to speak with one of the assistant city solicitors, Mr. Leahy. He is looking into it. His preliminary answer is probably not. You probably would be running the risk that it's it's somewhat, I guess by statute, state law, chapter 138, preempted. There's a certain part of it that could not allow the licensing board to create that requirement for a particular class or type of license, unless you were to do it either consistent across the board, but he has yet to put anything of this nature on paper, and he would like to have another week or 10 days to look at it.
No problem.
I mean, and I think even if we were talking about doing it across the board, anybody who's really in the business probably already carries this insurance. So making
I
it a
agree.
requirement would have, I would assume, a de
People that
minimis
sell beer
burden.
and wine aren't really in the business of
But,
alcohol, though. People that sell beer and wine, it's an ancillary item.
I would tell you that probably even restaurants carry it. I think it's.
Oh, that's liability insurance, and they do. I'm sure they do, because they're in the business.
Right. So I think,
I would venture to say.
I would venture to say most
all
do.
of the places that are selling beer and wine have insurance.
yeah, I mean, I would venture that if they came in here with counsel,
hope
their
so.
counsel would have advised them of that, like, the day they were setting up the corporation.
That's just I'd guess, though.
I wouldn't guess they would.
That'd be like telling somebody to go ahead and buy a car and not get insurance. I mean, I just,
Yeah, but you can't register a car unless you have proof of insurance.
Cancel it the next day, though.
you cancel it, right, exactly. You could just not pay your premiums, do whatever you want. I mean, trust me.
Anything else?
It's not
Anything,
like
have you-
Massachusetts.
have you
There's
got
a
anything,
shortage of
Captain
people
Webb?
driving around without
No,
insurance.
nothing.
Nothing.
Just as a one last item on the agenda, I guess, is that 2 legal notices scheduled for publication in the Lowell Sun newspaper tomorrow morning, for hearings that would be held at our next regular meeting, which is March 11th. That is, first would be the licensee of record at the Songa Center at UMass Lowell, 300 Martin Luther King Way, has requested a name change, corporate name change. Presently, the licensee of record is known as Boston Concessions Group, Inc., and they would make the change to, well, actually, they've actually made the change with the Secretary of State, is to say that they're now known as Boston Culinary Group, Inc. And the,
You mean the ones who are just in now, asking for a license under that name, just a few minutes ago? Okay.
and so now is the, also that particular corporate entity has the principal who had all of the shares in the corporation, has sold his interest to a corporation known as Volume Services America, Inc. So, and the second application is to do with the package store known as the Liquor Shop at 1201 Bridge Street, which is the Sunrise Shopping Center. Because of the parent company that owns the property is changing the, actually, they're gonna raise property, and they're gonna build a couple of new structures over there. The liquor store has to move to a temporary site, and this application that would be heard for the meeting on March 11th involves that change of location at the center itself.
So they're just moving from one location in that strip mall to another location in the same strip mall?
Yeah,
Temporarily.
Yeah. Okay.
so that should be about a year. And a year from now, I'm told they could ask another change to go back to a building that's to be erected.
Anything else?
I would say that, I guess at some point, we may want to discuss, I was just reading through some of the ABCC decisions, what they gave us some blowback on was kind of a consistent programmatic, incremental approach to certain violations, and, you know, from what little, looking into what I've done, I think we wouldn't be remiss if we established guidelines, if we adopted them. I think it would possibly minimize any chance of blowback out of Boston, because we would have a consistent approach. And, you know, we may want to think about doing that at a future date.
Well,
So,
I know that when any of the issues that go before the ABC on appeal, such as disciplinary action that the licensing authorities have taken, the ABC wants to see that if you're taking disciplinary action, and it's for a particular specific violation, they want to know it's for that X number of days, should it be a suspension, it's for that particular violation, and it would be, say, 6-day suspension. And if there were multiple violations, then they would like to see it broken down so that if it's after-hours sale, it's a minor sale, and if it's serving intoxicated patrons, say 3 complaints against one licensee, I think they want to see the suspension, if it is to be a suspension, 3, 3, and 3 for each offense, count 1, count 2, count 3. I think that's how they like to see it, so that they can rule on each one if they have to take a separate.
that's kind of what I saw too from that, is that they want to have it broken down so they're not just given a rough number and have to determine where the apportionment lies. Since suspension is the only portion of our disciplinary measures they can review, our rollbacks are left outside of their jurisdiction, completely within our discretion, and for the most part have the same effect as a suspension, just given the current nightlife. But it's something we may want to talk about in coming meetings, so.
Okay.
Good enough.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Coming home, Benjamin.